Hello, I'm Roberta Pacino, and this is the Kiss of Fame podcast, where we dive deep into the glamour and the grit on the road to success and fame. Today, I have an amazing show. It's actually the last episode of my first season, and for that, we're going to have a beautiful discussion about fame, and it is part of the third annual Women's World Metaverse Retreat. So it is going to be totally awesome. Thank you, everybody, for being here. We'll get started soon, but first let's play my intro video.
In a world where passion meets recognition and dreams grapple with the reality of fame, one journey illuminates the myriad paths to greatness. Welcome to Kiss of Fame, a podcast where the stories of ambition, perseverance, and personal triumph are told by those who dare to reach for the stars. Greetings, dreamers, doers, and innovators. I'm Roberta Pacino, here to navigate the vast seas of creativity, recognition, and the complex dance with fame. Whether you're an artist, entrepreneur, scientist, or advocate, Kiss of Fame is your haven for genuine stories of grit, inspiration, and sometimes, the hard truths of seeking the spotlight. Through intimate conversations with those who've carved their niches, from hidden gems to luminaries in their fields, we uncover the essence of what it takes to rise above the noise. We delve into the magic that drives their passion, the relentless pursuit of success, and the courage required to stay true to one's vision in the face of fame. But this isn't just about the glitz and glamour, it's about the journey. The triumphs, the setbacks, and the moments that define us. From the first spark of ambition to the accolades that follow, every step has its story, and we're here to share those stories with the world. Kiss of Fame isn't merely a podcast, it's a dialogue. A dialogue about the art of achievement, the impact of recognition, and our endless quest for significance in our work and in our lives. So, if you're in search of motivation, guidance, or companionship on your path to recognition, join us. Explore the lives and minds of those who've made their mark and uncover what it truly takes to earn that kiss of fame. It's not just about making art, it's about sparking conversations. Welcome to Kiss of Fame. Subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts, and let's embark on this remarkable journey together.
Um, Dan, the actual first guest that I had in this beautiful studio were Tara and David from the Hello LLC, which is a digital marketing agency. They actually built out this whole studio for me, and they produce this podcast. They're amazing. Their company specializes in helping businesses embrace 3D immersive experiences in the metaverse. And during our conversation, they shared, excuse me, how the metaverse is transforming business and connection in exciting new ways. Yeah, talking to them really brought home the fact that it's not just who's in the spotlight, but it's the amazing team behind the scenes that really makes you successful. So I totally appreciate it, Tara and David. Thanks so much. Thank you for your collaboration. And then I had amazing second guest, Sarah Tink Mapelli. I know her as Tink, and she's an artist, a healer, a dancer, and a beekeeper. Tink is really known for her incredible bee dances where she gets completely covered with bees. I think she says over 12,000, it's a duet with over 12,000 honeybees. And I think she's the only person in the world who does it. And she does them regularly. I haven't been to one yet, but I want to go, even though I'm scared of bees. She's making me brave. So she's a healer, and she has a passion for those people who are ill and hospitalized, and she can offer her healing at a distance, which I think is incredible. Tink actually brought me into the metaverse. She started the artist district in the multiverse, and she told me how amazing it was, and I went there and she convinced me, and I've got a store and a gallery and a plot and everything there now. So yeah, you changed my life, Tink. Thank you so much. The next person, yes, she's amazing, is Allison Morano. She was my third guest, and Allison is a leader in business development and a key figure in VR, Web3, and the metaverse. She actually founded the Metaverse Chamber of Commerce. She helps businesses build relationships and thrive in immersive digital spaces. And one thing she shared that this is a place where there are a lot of influencers in the metaverse, and you come here and become an influencer. And also that years ago when she told people about the internet, because she's been in the business for years and years. The internet was new, and she'd go, oh, like people are going to be on the internet, and everybody's going to have a website, and nobody believed her. And so she kind of likens the metaverse to the same thing. I mean, it's just that it's happening, and everybody's going to be in the metaverse soon. So yeah, she's always very positive and upbeat, and it was really a pleasure to interview her. So my next guest is Eddie Sicoli, who Eddie is an actor and a musician. And one thing about Eddie that is really cool is that his very, very first acting experience was in as an extra in the wedding scene in The Godfather. So we really immediately hit it off, and we've got this really strong connection because of that. He was inspired to act when he saw his dad's very good friend, Joe Pesci, in Raging Bull. And then he pursued an acting career and eventually landed roles in TV and film. And now Eddie is making his own indie films, which he can star in. And yeah, he shared that it's never too late to follow your dreams, so just keep on going. So thank you, Eddie. It was a pleasure to interview you. And my fifth guest is Fran Bailey, who is an energy healer and a guide to personal transformation. She's the founder of the Shiva method, which stands for Seeking Harmony and Energy, Voice, and Action. And she has helped people for many, many years find balance and connect with their true selves through her system for spiritual growth and emotional well-being. And actually, Fran demonstrated her Shiva method during the podcast, and I had been ill, and I was feeling a little wimpy, and she really made me feel great. So it was really, really great to have Fran. Thank you. And my last guests were Eric Spade Rivas and Michael Musto. Eric is an actor, a writer, and a director known for his gritty independent films like Vampire's Trilogy. Vamp Bikers trilogy. And he started as a graffiti artist, and he shared that, being a graffiti artist is like, it's all about fame. That's what you're doing. You're going for fame. You want people to see your work on the side of a building. And he took that energy that he had and put it into filmmaking. He has cast Michael Musto in several of his films, and we interviewed to get all of three of us together. And Michael Musto is flamboyant, and he's best known for he's a New York City's entertainment scene for his column in the Village Voice called La Dolce Musto. And together them with Eric's raw filmmaking and Michael's unique style, their collaboration is pretty amazing, and they celebrate staying true to one's roots and passions. And it was awesome to have them here. So that is the 6th podcast guest. So yay, thank you, all of you. Okay, so we're going to get started with our discussion on fame, but first, I guess everybody knows I have a Etsy shop, and so we're going to just play a little promo video about my Etsy shop, and then we will get started. So let's play the video.
Hi, it's Roberta Pacino. I'm thrilled to announce my Black Friday sale, where you can save 25% on some of my favorite pieces. From beautifully crafted jigsaw puzzles and elegant jewelry boxes to cozy mugs and stylish oven mitts, there's something here for everyone. These make the perfect gifts, or maybe just a little treat for yourself. But don't wait, this sale won't last long, so mark your calendar and grab your favorites. Let's make this Black Friday unforgettable together. Shop now at robertapacino.io. Happy holidays!
Welcome back, everybody. Okay, yeah, so I just want to remind that everybody here gets a 35% off discount coupon for my Etsy shop. And so, yeah, so come on in and get the coupon. And yeah, if any reason you don't, we're going to give the coupon out in the end after we're not live. But if you have to leave a little early or whatever, I'll get it to you. So just contact me. Yeah, so we'll know who's been here, and it'll work out. Okay, so let's we're all ready. Let's start with the first slide. All right, yeah, so the name of this retreat is Shine and Shadow, Navigating the Dual Sides of Fame. So it's a huge interest of mine. Fame is, yeah, it's really, really alluring. It promises us all kinds of things like Hollywood parties and money. Yeah, but it can be really challenging. So the thing about fame is we actually need a measure of fame to be successful, so it's a struggle. It's challenging because we struggle with staying true to ourselves, but yet we do need the fame so people know, I'm an artist. I want people to know I'm an artist, or, an entrepreneur needs people to know they exist. So yeah, there's pitfalls and challenges, and we're going to talk about all that. So let's do the second slide. Yes, and I just want to let everybody know that every couple of slides I'm going to ask for questions. It would be really cool if you have any questions or any comments, or if you can share from your own experience, that would be awesome. It always helps. It always helps everybody, so I really want to hear what you have to say. Let's go through this slide and then I'll take some questions. Okay, so the pitfalls of fame. There's, okay, pressure, so yeah, so you have pressure. So once you kind of have this persona, then you have pressure that you have to keep it, like people are expecting you to be a certain way. And that can be exhausting. It can create a lot of anxiety. So that's a pitfall of fame, because if nobody knows you exist, you don't have to worry about it. Another one is isolation. In my own experience, I've felt isolated at times because I feel like, that I'm different than everybody else. Not that I'm famous, but I'm related very, by association. I'm famous, I guess. And and so, that's the more you become this, you seem different to people. So that's challenging. And criticism, and people have expectations and they expect you to be a certain way. And then the addiction part. I mean, how many of us have gotten addicted to, how many likes we get on a video we post, or, something like that. So that's really easy to fall into. So yeah, I guess for me, I've had lots of these experiences. And how about, is there anybody else here that has any questions or wants to share their experience? Is anybody asking to speak? Everybody's got their mics off. So, Tom?
I think my mic is off. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Do you have something to say?
Well, I just, I think that your points are really valid, and knowing Roberta for a number of years, I can say from the outside, she's handled it all really well, and all of these points are really fascinating to me. And I'd love to hear you speak more on, having a famous brother and how that's impacted your self-perception of who you are on the planet. And, being in that massive shadow of Al Pacino and all the people that have come into your world from around that orbit of him that have wanted to get to Al through you has always been something that I've been fascinated to watch. And, when I was around you and Al together in New York, I was very impressed at how well you handled yourself as Al's sister and all the famous people that wanted to meet you and us at the table. But yeah, I'd love for you to share more about, well, what was it really like for you dealing with your genetic DNA relationship with someone that's just larger than Jupiter. And yeah, it's just a fascinating topic. I would love to hear more about that.
Okay, well, I'll speak a little bit to that. That's like kind of a long story. But yeah, I feel like, there are people that have, I feel like just want to know me because they feel like maybe I'll get a script to Al. I've had people say, can you get him, your brother, a script? And it's really hard to ever really know somebody's intentions. But I think that most people are interested in me, at least after they meet me and get to know me, and that's not, the reason for the relationship. But it does start that way sometimes. I've been in this situation for a big part of my life, and it really is my way of life. And so I deal with it on an individual basis, I guess. You don't have to know me too long to know that I am not going to get out your script. So so that's kind of how I handle it. I just really adore people, and I think that most people have really, really good intentions. That's how I survive. Does anybody else have any other comments or questions?
Hey, Roberta, it's 11 Goddess.
Oh, hi.
Hi. I just wanted you to know that until I came into this room, I didn't know he was your brother. I adore you because you're cool.
Really? Yeah. Oh, that's so good to hear, actually. I thought for sure
I
you.
promise you, I did not have a clue until I heard Duffy talk that he was your brother.
Well, thank you. Thank you, 11 Goddess. Thank you so much. That's
Sad
good.
but true.
And thank you for coming to the podcast. It's so good to
Oh,
have you
happy
here.
to be here. Happy to be
Yeah.
here.
Okay, thank you. Okay, anybody else? Mm, oh,
Um,
okay.
I, I lost my avatar, so it's hard. It feels strange. Um, when my video went viral, I started getting lots of people asking me to be on shows like, America's Most Talented or whatever that show is. I mean, they called me so many times, and Um, America's Got Talent. I always get it confused with America's Most Wanted. Um, um, uh, I just have to keep
Show
saying
they ask you to be on.
animals. These are bees, and we'd have to do something extraordinary to like do this on stage, and what I really realized is they just wanted someone they could buzz out. No pun unintended. And I kept having, finally, like, finally they did this one that now we're gonna have, America's Got Talent Extreme outside, and then we talked about it, and it was really, they really wanted me to pay. They would have paid for my ticket, but for me to do something like this, it's like 3 days of prep. I just felt like I try to ask them, is there a way to make this an educational element? But that's not what they were interested in. So I had to turn down a lot of things. And I still do because I really want what I do to be considered sacred and an environmental movement and expression. And so I've had to turn down a lot of things all over the world. And I also, had to deal with MTV wanting my video and then wanting to like basically steal it and not signing contracts with them. So it really left me in a place where I couldn't move forward. And so I just end up doing everything myself, even to the point where I order the porta potties, I sell the tickets, and it's something that I've kept really small because I didn't want it to get commercialized or even though lots of my footage gets stolen and I find like videos in China for like skincare and they use my videos and I've I try to block them and you know report them to Facebook. I don't get anything for that. So I just constantly am like, this is not approved by me, So it's been really an interesting thing. And I also have felt like I got a little bit stunted on what I would like to have done more with my character. And um I see her expanding more in the future, but it really took me a while to figure out how to balance everything.
Right.
That's what I got
Yeah.
to say at the moment.
Well, that's very good. Thank you, Tink. Yeah, so, you stayed true to yourself, and that's what's important. And yeah, so wonderful. And that's really good to have you share about one of the, the pitfalls of fame. Yeah, but so yeah, thank you. Um, okay, so, well, let's go to the next slide. Okay, maintaining a balanced career. So yeah, so this is like, you're getting your career going, and this is all about, having a work life and having a personal life. And I don't know that I'm very good at that, but that seems to be at some point get really important because I think people maybe get lost in their work and they forget about their life, everybody else and the people close to them. And also, to prioritize well-being. take care of yourself. You're the person that's going to do it. You're the person that needs to take care of yourself. Other people aren't going to do it. So that's really important. And seek support and have a network, have friends and family and wonderful podcast guests and have people around you. So to support you through it, through everything. That's really, really important. So yeah, I mean, that's just regular stuff that I think that pertains to everything besides fame. Okay, the next slide. Okay, embracing authenticity. I think this is what Tink was really talking about. Be yourself. Be true to your own values and your own beliefs, and don't try to be somebody you're not to please others. I mean, yeah. So that's really really interesting, Tink, that you had that actual experience, and it'll be interesting to see how you move that forward. We're doing what you want to do. Embrace imperfections. It's not really imperfections isn't a word I would use because I think everything's perfect. But I didn't write this, but really it's talking about mistakes. And a mistake is like, oh shoot, I did that wrong or whatever. But I mean, a mistake, you've gotta do it. And if it's wrong, do it differently. I mean, it's just embrace. Don't look at it as like a bad thing. I mean, it's moving you forward. So, and share your story. This is the one I love because, yeah. So don't be afraid to share your story. And that's like something that we're doing right now today. And I'm like, oh, that really makes a difference. It makes a difference to hear what other people are going through. And it connects you in amazing ways, and it helps you. So I think maybe, yeah, if there's one thing I'm learning today is to share my story more. So yeah, so that's really, really good. Okay, so yeah, every couple of slides I'm going to ask for questions or comments or share. So does anybody have any right now?
Miss Roberta, this is Max.
Hi, I'm Mexico. Hi.
Hello. You know what? I'm definitely enjoying so far the slides because it's completely realistic. It's not something that's fabricated in any way. So far these steps have come from somebody with the obviously with the experience. You know what I mean? And it really is true as far as like like with the first slide you were mentioning, like with the isolation, with sometimes anxiety, all these things. I believe artists of different ventures definitely experience these things, but just as you said in the previous slide, the whole thing is to keep people around you that care about you, that are going to support you, and not criticize you for your downfalls. But if anything, that are going to try to lift you up, because so many of us sometimes we latch on to people that are the yesers. You could, they get to the point where they're only there benefiting off of whatever they see you as. If there's, I mean, it could be something for, hey, this is the person with the house, so we could party. You know what I mean? And they'll take advantage of that. Or like how you mentioned, being in the fame light, somebody, such as like your brother, I'm sure there's many people that look at him as an opportunity, and that right there could be the most hurtful thing for anybody, even like as I mentioned, like on the most, basic level. My question would be, how from your perspective, how does somebody, not only generate that reasoning from people in a way where I'm sure he doesn't just turn off to people, but what's the best way to basically maneuver around people like that, coming from your perspective? Thank you.
Well, okay, so let me see if I understand. Obviously I can't talk for him. I could only talk for myself because I don't know what he does to survive in those situations. So are you asking me what if there's people around that are just there because they want to take advantage of a perceived opportunity with me, how do I maneuver around that? Is that what you're asking?
Exactly. Coming from your perspective.
Oh, from my perspective, I just pretty much tell them. I get lots of messages and requests for, just, tell your brother this, or make sure you, call him and do this or do that, or send him this, or, and I've had, and usually I just tell people, look, we have a family relationship. It's not a business relationship. That's not something I'm going to do. And they say, oh, okay, I understand. Sometimes people are really persistent and rude. I've had really been threatened, like, I've asked you so many times, and that kind of, and then this happens on, not in person. It happens on, Messenger and stuff. So I just block them. I have not been up against that situation in real life where somebody actually got really aggressive. And so I can't really say, but I usually if I go to events, I usually have somebody with me. I don't really I have felt, there's been times I've gone where the person I brought with me wasn't around, and I feel like the rooms, people start surrounding me, and it's a panicky feeling. So yeah, it might seem silly, but I like to have protection. So, that's what I deal with. Is that good? Did you get your answer?
Definitely, Ms. Pacino. And I mean, it really does speak to every artist individually, because being an artist, you want to be somebody who's going to be known, obviously, for your craft, not based off of anybody else's, or you know what I mean. And so many people try to kind of piggyback off of others like that. And I've seen that coming from, an independent artist side, you know what I'm saying? So I can only imagine, what it feels like to be there. And I just respect you for your answer, because at the end of the day, none of us need fake friends, and none of us need people that are going to be opportunists. And I've seen that personally. Maybe one day I'll tell you about it, where it's just, I've seen somebody, who would just kind of basically go from being a great friend to somebody, and when they don't get a script to somebody or whatever it is, it's like you don't see that person no more. They're like, well, hey, what happened to that person? You know what I mean? And it's crazy. But thank you, Ms. Roberta.
Thank you so much, Mixie. Thank you. Okay, so what slide are we on? Prioritizing personal growth, the next one. Yeah, so everything's changing. We know. Here in the metaverse, we really see it happen every day, and so it's really important to stay open to new knowledge and keep learning. You don't want to get left behind. You can get left behind if you're comfortable there, but I know people that didn't do that and then really regret it because now they're lost. So stay learning the new things, and take classes or whatever you need to do. And I think that's just basic common sense. Really, stay up with the times. We're really in a new world now with AI. And I think it's more than ever now important to do that because, I get like just a newsletter, every day with the new things in AI. And it just changes every day. It's just amazing. So, yeah. Okay. So let's do the next slide. Okay. Cultivating meaningful relationships. I think that, I think it's really important, especially if you're feeling like you're different and you're isolated and all those kind of things. Stay connected with the people that you love and that love you. I in my life, there's maybe not that many, and there that you want to kind of nurture those relationships. And, but then also seek out opportunities to meet new people. What do they say? One silver and the other's gold. I learned that when I was a little kid, but that's so true. I mean, meet new people, keep the ones that are really close and meet new ones. And some of those become really close. And yeah, and you can meet genuine people. I mean, even if you're famous. But I mean, I know it's really hard to tell, but I think there's clues. And another thing is to find a way to contribute. Show up. Like contribute to your community. If something's going on and you can go to it and go. Like everybody here. You're contributing, and makes such a difference to me to have you here in the audience. So I really appreciate that, and I think that's just an amazing thing to do. Okay, let's just do the next slide. Okay, so now this is kind of like, okay, so you're famous now. And you're being recognized, and so like what do you do now? I mean, does it go to your head or what? How do you handle that? And just stay humble is there's advice here. And I'm going to say in my own experience that humility is like such a gift. I mean, it's amazing to be humble, and I think you can learn it. I think I learned it through years and years of spiritual practice, but it feels so good. So if you think it feels good to be arrogant, try being humble and see how good that feels. And practice gratitude, be thankful for your own accomplishments. I think that might be a tough one. Like, be thankful for yourself and what you do, you exist. and then for others, for what they've done, be grateful. Like this one, seek feedback. I think that's important to seek feedback, to be able to take constructive criticism and learn from your mistakes. I'm not like great at it, but I'm working on it, I mean, I don't know if anybody likes constructive criticism, but I think, it's important because other people, you don't know everything, so, and that's part of being humble. You don't know everything. And so if somebody sees something and they want to tell you about it, you should be grateful for that. Yeah, so one of the things that I like in this particular slide is to use your platform to uplift and empower others. So once you're like really got it going and you're really like, got your fame, or, your success rolling, use that in a beneficial way, that's got to be so amazing. I mean, to be in the position to where you can help other people and make a difference in the world. And so take advantage of that. So, I mean, to me, that's like, that's just like awesome to be able to do that. So, yeah, then we want to go to the next slide. Oh, well, anyway, no, maybe let me just ask a few questions. Does anybody have any questions on the last slide and the last couple? Because then we have two more and then we'll have a big discussion. Are we good? Okay.
Okay, Miss Roberta, I had a quick question for you on this one.
Yeah.
On the last slide, what's something that if you had to choose one of the steps, what would be the most highlighted for you personally?
You mean between remain grounded, practice gratitude, seek feedback, and help others?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, that's a hard question. Well, I think practicing gratitude's huge, so practicing gratitude and helping others. I mean, I feel like I've got the humility down, and I'm working on accepting criticism, and gratitude. You can't have too much gratitude. So, and then take that, use that energy of that gratitude to lift others up. So yeah, that would be it. kind of a combination of the last two, if I had to choose. The first two, not so great. So, okay. Okay, thank you, Mix Kelly. Okay, next slide. Okay. Yeah, so strategies for long-term, for sustainable success, long-term vision. So yeah, kind of think it out, work it out, have a plan, something that could actually work. You know, I guess that's what that means. If you just do something that maybe is just a short term and it's not going to make it, if it's not built on a strong foundation, it's hard, it's painful. Passion and purpose, I would say, I always tell people, if you want to be successful, you've got to love what you do. If you want to, like, you know, get a career going, you have to be passionate about it. I mean, how could you possibly do it if you weren't passionate? I mean, it takes a lot of work, a lot of hours, and how could you even get it done if you didn't have the passion for it? I can't imagine. So, yeah, so choose something that you're passionate about, and you'll know because you'll stick with it and things will fall into place. And that's my experience. If it's the right thing, things just kind of fall into place. And it's the wrong thing, they fall apart. So that's a clue. Anyway, that's a clue in my life. Adaptability and resilience. Be flexible and adaptable to changing marketing. Yeah, so be flexible and adaptable to changes, which really leads us into the last slide. Can we do the last slide here? Okay, so final thoughts. Change is inevitable. So embracing impermanence and the present moment. So impermanence, the law of impermanence is kind of a Buddhist thing, but it's also obvious. You know, I mean, we all can see that nothing is permanent. Everything is changing. So I think that is, for me, in my experience, it is so important for me to recognize that. To try to cling on to things and keep things the same, it says right here, it creates suffering. I mean, it's painful to try to keep things the same that are going to change. So, you know, stop trying. Appreciate the moment. Appreciate what's there. And yeah, so this last one, cultivating non-attachment. That means to let go of the desire. Here it says the desire to control outcomes. You know, you know, in my experience, I can't really control anything. And so to allow everything to unfold naturally, and to be free from expectations, from expecting things to be a certain way and just letting them be how they are. I mean, it is an amazing way to live. It is the absolute best times. So there's somebody dancing in the audience. I'm not sure if that's a motion to me or if that's appreciation or what, but thank you anyway. Yes, cultivate non-attachment. It is the best thing you can do for yourself. You know, let everything just be, enjoy life, and let it flow. So, okay, well, that's my final thought. That's the way I live my life. So I would love to hear from everybody. If anybody wants to speak, now's the chance. Please let me know what you have to say.
Miss Roberta, I definitely have something to say on this one, if I may.
Okay, go ahead.
And just to let everybody in the audience know, in the beginning when I try to put on my microphone so I could ask a question, for some of you that don't have it in your actual settings for the microphone to be on, it'll temporarily back you out, but that's basically how to turn on the microphone. And then when you turn on the microphone, you come back in, you just go to the top right, and there's a little microphone symbol. If you press that, you could basically unmute your mic. So I just want to let people know real quick. But what you said about this last slide, Ms. Pacino, it's something that definitely resonates with me, because I remember I wrote something based on what you said, which is, I say, forget the past. You got to let it go. Suffering from your soul, because sometimes it can start to show up in your face, not only in your mind state, because in this life you got to be careful to never change your mind frame. But it ain't easy, because it ain't always breezy. Tattooed memories of the past that want to last. They haunt you on your good days and contaminate all your laughs. Stop you from your full potential and even messes you up more in your mental if you let it. Whatever you go through in life, that's why you got to stay strong. And people always keep it on. Your heart's up on lit until the bumps quit. Because no matter what you go through in life, you always got to keep your hearts alive and never stop striving, surviving your hopes and plans. Even if they don't always go your way, because it's always another day. But in order to maintain the future, sometimes you got to forget your past. So this one goes out to all of us. You know?
Thank you. That's awesome. Thank you, Mexican. That was great. Yay. Thank you. Okay, so anybody else? Does everybody have access to, does anybody want to talk that doesn't know how to get their mic on? Or Jen Smash? Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, it's kind of crackly.
Man, I'm just happy to be here to support you. I have a question about your art, though.
Okay.
I noticed that there's a lot of pictures of at the table eating with people.
Yes.
And so I just wanted to know a little bit of the background. Does that represent your family and the Italian heritage? I can really relate to that.
Well, some of it does, but I think it relates a lot to my filmmaking education, because one of the things that I learned in film studies and is that watching other films and the eating scenes, is that food is a great equalizer. So it brings all kinds of people together to eat. And so that's kind of where that comes from, is that there's these mostly they're animals that are all seated together. But I do, and I like that you mentioned that my Italian heritage, because that was, of course, very important for us growing up, is the meals and the family together. I do have one that I did that's just spaghetti. and my father had an Italian restaurant, and I mean, those were really, really good times. And so I think with art, all your experience comes out in your art. So I would say, yes, it's the filmmaking, and that really touched me because it resonated with me when I learned about that. So yeah, thank you for the question. Thank you very much. Good, great. Anybody else? What? Go ahead. Oh, well, I think that I don't know, my art was it wasn't born in the metaverse, but in a way, anybody seeing it started in the metaverse. I mean, it was like, oh my gosh, it started with, my first gallery in the multiverse, where I could actually put my work up on a wall and see it all together and see it big. And people would, I love when people come into the gallery and I could talk to them about my art. Yeah, so having those opportunities in real life are kind of difficult. I mean, you got to, especially for me, I mean, I live alone. I don't really drive much. How am I going to get all my paintings to anywhere, I mean, it's just, the metaverse is so accessible, and yeah, it's made me believe in myself, really. I mean, it's given me a new world to live in. I don't know how to say it. I can get pretty trippy with it. But yeah, it has definitely helped me as an artist. It's given me, I have a store here. You know, you built a store for me. I have galleries. I have now this podcast. So, yeah, I can show all this stuff on the stream, on the screen, and I can live stream it. Um, yeah, it's beyond the beyond. Thank you, David. Did I answer your question? Okay, thank you. I appreciate you too. Does anybody have any other questions or statements or shares or anything? We're going to close really soon, so now's the
Miss
time.
Roberta?
Yes?
I wanted to comment on what you said about, about how important it was to you for, for not only family, but how certain things bring that family actually all together. And one of those things that you highlighted was, the meals. The meals was big. I would say a lot in a lot of early traditional families. And it just stood out to me when you said that, because these days it's almost like non-existent for people to actually want to, or even get the chance to actually sit down and eat as a family at a table. And that's something that it resonates with me, because to be honest, I don't remember the last time I sat down with my own parents to be able to actually eat a meal at the table. The last time I did that was with a friend who passed away in 2019. And he was just a friend, but it was somebody that I'm always going to look at as a bigger brother, because even though I don't have no brothers or sisters related, as from blood related, to me it's he was a bigger brother, because he represented a lot of what family, I believe, should actually define. And so my question to you would be, when it comes to film, how important do you think it is, or do you know it is, for film to not just basically be based off of what people think people want to see, but basically something that they know we go through as an everyday human being in this world? How important is it to actually be able to translate what really means and what really defines us as human beings into actual film? That's my question to you. Thank you.
Well, I think it's tremendously important. I think that's what art's all about. And to really make a film, a worthwhile film, a responsible and a responsible film, considering who's watching it, it is amazing. And that's what I want to see. And I'm not making films right now, but if I were, that's the kind of film I would make. So yeah, go for it, man. Keep on doing that. That's what we need to do, because that's what art does. I mean, art, first of all, expresses reality, and then I think in a way, and in a way, it creates reality. It gives us something to move into, and to like science fiction or whatever. We're getting there. So thank you. Okay, so this is kind of the end of the podcast. I have people here that are here for the retreat, and they need to get to the next one. So I'm going to turn off the live and give out the code now for whoever's here. And then, like I said, if somebody was here and they left, they'll get it also. So thank you, everybody. Thank you, Tara and David, for producing this. Thank you to everybody who came, to the whole audience. Thank you for all the questions. I mean, this has been amazing. Yeah, it's a topic that we'll continue the discussion. Thank you so much. Bye now.